Whew. That turned into a hike I wasn't expecting to do today. I went, decided to go for a drive late this afternoon and see if enough snow had melted so I get up into them to where I have some cameras that have been sitting since last November, I think. And lo and behold, there was enough snow melted on the logging road. I couldn't believe it. Because usually it's not till mid-May or something. So anyway, so I drove in and ended up hiking up to the nearest camera because I don't have the right hiking clothes on. I got a cotton t-shirt on and jeans on, which is a little constricting for hiking, mountain hiking. But I went and grabbed one anyway. Sure enough, there's 30 videos on it, and there's no player on the camera I grabbed. I didn't have a SD card reader with me, so it's funny how it affects you in the head. It's like, oh my God, I can't wait to get home because you want to check it. It's like having potentially your best Christmas present right there in your hand, and you can't open it up yet. And it's one of those things. I get a lot of fun out of it. And now, I think I did a video right from this spot a couple years ago, maybe last year or something. And this is right on the verge of a park. Well, once you get the high land there, it turns into a provincial park. It's a big area. If you go straight that way, as a crow flies, you'll end up in Harrison, I guess. And no shortage of stuff going on in these forests behind me, all around me. Typically. Just got back from another road trip. Just about killed me, I'll tell you what. I've been really grinding it out this past couple months. And it turns out I had to go all the way to Vancouver Island to a great butcher that I found through a friend. Picked up a couple 100 pounds of moose sausage, 4 different flavors, 4 different styles, and all the way. I tried to turn around and come all the way back. This is something like, I don't know, 14 hours travel altogether. Beat the crap out of us. Sarah came along. Anyway, I'm going to share some emails from here. I don't know what's going on. The inbox on the emails are absolutely getting choked lately. A lot of people are talking. A lot of people get the confidence to talk. A lot of 100% of every emails in is actually doing it with relief that they have a safe place to share what's really going on the planet today, right? And that video got taken down, which is kind of sad if you think about what is available today on the internet for children as well as the general public to have access to. It's pretty mind-boggling at what the people who are in control of so many different narratives, it's amazing what they focus on to eliminate from the eyes of the public when it comes to the public speaking up. It's kind of sad. So I started a Rumble account. I haven't got anything on it yet, though I will put that video on the Rumble account. I'll call it the same as what this channel's called. I'll let you know when stuff starts hitting that one. And it's going to be a whole pile of more work. And I'm getting to the point now I just can't keep this pace up. And I understand there's a lot of channels that there are a lot of followers that see the opportunity to make a good chunk of money once they get a substantial following, right? A lot of people are putting subscription only on their YouTube channel, I think, to generate money. What else are they doing? Patreon, however that works. Whatever, they're doing a whole bunch of stuff, selling products and shit. It's kind of funny. I think I'm up with the two combined channels, and I think I'm up to around 6.5 million views a month. I remember back a while back, I think I hit 30 or 40,000 subscribers, and a couple of people email me, and they're absolutely frothing excited because I could be making so much money selling t-shirts. You're crazy to not be selling stuff. Whatever. You know what? I've worked hard for my money. I'm just used to working hard for my money. Not that this isn't hard work, but obviously it's not my sole motivation. Otherwise I would have been selling you guys shit a long time ago. The whole reason behind my social media accounts was to promote my hunting and angling apps, which are absolute honest knowledge, and to get out to the people to use to get better and save the money. So, and then obviously, for all you that missed it, I was getting hounded by all of you to crack open some first-hand Sasquatch experiences I may or may not have had, and then finally I cut loose, and that was when I realized how important it was that everybody needed to have a voice, and everybody needed to be heard, and everybody needed to be treated with respect. So that's what I've been doing. And then, of course, out of pure stubbornness, I decided every single person's gonna get heard, and taking that on has been a monstrous time consumer. I think I did the math since December. Close to 2,000 people have been heard word for word through this channel, and I'm looking back, and that is a pile of work, pile of time, pile of equipment. And so what I'm going to do is I will never start a subscription only access to these emails and my time. I understand there's a lot of people in the world are getting beat down this past year financially, mentally, emotionally. The majority of society is being misled via the mainstream narrative holders, controllers, especially even just with the suicide. I mentioned that before. We spoke with an RCMP officer just a week ago, and that officer told us flat out, because they're the ones that have to deal with it, there is a pile of mental health issues going on in our community of all classes of people, not just, you know, the typical substance abuse people, down and out people, but everybody. And suicides are off the frickin' chart. Meanwhile, our mainstream narrative controllers telling us that nothing's changed. But meanwhile, the first responders are saying, yeah, no, there's suicide is off the charts. So this is not the time to be hammering on everybody who needs the support of all these other people through me. It's not, just isn't the right time to, or any time possibly, to say, okay, that's it for you, unless you crack open your credit card and start paying. It's not fair at all. I'm not going to do that. But I will, however, if you want to support this channel, I get a lot of people hounding. I will put a PayPal link in the bottom, and you can. I will accept donations to keep this going. I do have to make a living, you guys. And this is a shit pile of time, and I really have to start buckling down with my time and utilize it more for me and my family, you know, and get things going. So I did accept some donations to get a platform built. I think there is $3,700 sitting right there, which was donated specifically for that, and I'm holding off. I'm just being a little cautious yet before I drop a substantial pile of money into that item. And reason being because I'm not sure exactly where it is safe to do this yet. I'm not confident in putting all of this onto one of my app platforms and putting it on iTunes and Google Play, because those two different businesses can do and will delete you if you do not stay within what they wish to be shared or not to shared with all you. So I'm not up to date with all of the tech knowledge that most of the people have, so we'll keep doing this. I'll put more controversial emails onto the Rumble channel, where apparently it's safe, and I will, that $3,700 is sitting there untouched. I'll keep it right there. The plans to go forward to making a safe, secure platform is still obviously sitting right there in front of me on the desk. I just need a little more time and a little more knowledge to be certain that I'm going the correct route, and before I go dropping 20-30 grand plus on that item. All right, so if you feel you would like to throw a few bucks at this channel to keep it rocking out at this pace, hope I can, then I will I'll put that PayPal link in the bottom. And as far as t-shirts and hats and shit go, I had that going before I was doing this, with all our How to Hunt hats and Blacktail Hunter hats and shirts and stuff, and stickers, which I still have. I just completely ran out of stock. It was taking up a whole pile of additional time, and I shut the store down for a while, and I'm in talks with some other people about getting it going again. It's just more time, right? Time is very hard to come by this past couple months, but I will be cracking that open again. I'll let you know when. It's not too far away. I just have a lot on the go. Okay, you guys? So I will start putting that link in the bottom for anybody who wishes to contribute to the time and the equipment it takes to pull this off at this crazy pace. But I won't. I'm not going to go doing no monthly access charge for you guys. All right. There's too many people out there getting beat down into the ground financially right now, and everybody needs to be heard. And support is making a big difference. Another mention I wanted to make was, you know, you're always going to get people, naysayers, or people saying we need proof, we need this, we need that. And just so you know, we have had police officers, fish and game wardens, conservation officers here in Canada, wildlife biologists, psychologists, doctors, nurses, teachers. Who else? Every single field you can come up with. We've had people from those fields email us with honesty. And it's what that should be telling you flat out. That's the most obvious clue that this topic is meant to not be available, open, honest knowledge to us, to you, from whoever it is that relies on this fact of our existence being hammered down to the ground. I don't know why, but that's my goal. I'm after that answer. I'm after making sure every single one of you is heard, but ultimately I am after the big answers. I don't want to die feeling ripped off that I was suppressed from knowledge and possibly advancing my own life, making my own world bigger, my knowledge bigger, and finding out the true, honest facts of numerous topics, not just this one, which I already know for a fact is very real because I unfortunately had the experiences that I had and I didn't ask for them. But I want to find out why. And I want to find out who the dark pricks are that want all you kept in the dark. That's my ultimate goal, and I will find them. I will find out, and I will share with all you. And there's not much going to stop that. So moving along, listen to this one. Good afternoon, sir. All the best in your new conservation endeavors. Your passion for the outdoors and preservation of the natural world is so prominent, a blind man can see your enthusiasm. Thank you for those kind words. Thank you for giving these people a name other than an obvious large foundational pedestal. Every indigenous tribe or band has a name for these people. Sasquatch, wild man of the woods. Shnina, big man. Si-ot-ku, stick people. Yi-di-yi-te, skookum, evil spirit of the woods. Bukwas, wild man of the woods. I can go on and on. In your part of the world, the most common names are Siatkotko, Nashla, and of course, Sasquatch, where the Anglified word Sasquatch derives. The Ojibwe call them Sabe here, though many of the elders will call them Gichi Inini, the big man, or Gichi Ikwe, the big woman. They are like us. They are all individuals. They have different appearances and traits. Their hair color differs like ours. They have been described as black, reddish-brown, blonde, white, and the Cherokee Nation speaks of the Nunyuni-wee, the stone man, with thin body hair and grayish skin. It is also told how the Cherokee arrows and blowgun darts could not pierce their flesh. Blowgun darts, crazy. I wasn't aware they utilized blowgun darts here. Now, with all this said, you have noticed not one of these names given by the indigenous tribes has the word ape or monkey attached. It was European settlers that brought the word ape or monkey into the description of these people. Contrary to what we've been told about the Florida skunk ape, that is not the name the Seminole tribes gives them. To the Seminoles, they are known as Esti Kapkaki, pronounced Esti Kapkopki, the tall man. So why is the proliferation of the idea these people are an ape? Simple answer, money. All one has to do is search the word Sasquatch, and a plethora of websites appear by organizations and groups claiming authoritative dominance in the field of these people. It's not just organizations or groups. There seems to be a large number of academic, quote, professionals, end quote, sticking their hands in the cookie jar. We all know of one academic individual from the University of Idaho who has become synonymous with a certain brain-dead, fraudulent research organization who, though he has studied hundreds, if not thousands of footprints, hair samples, eyewitness accounts, keeps addressing these people as an extinct ape that was indigenous to Asia thousands of years ago. So, why? Grant money and donations from wealthy philanthropists and private eccentrics who want to perpetuate their narrative that these people are an undiscovered animal. I was in that world of academics for years, but never at the university or college level for the simple fact I would not have to invest everything I have into a lip balm company due to all the ass-kissing involved in obtaining the grant money. Here's an example. If you or I wrote a grant proposal to our respective governments for the further study of mating habits and language structure of the North American Sasquatch, we would receive an answer that would include a list of psychiatrists we need to speak to immediately. Now, if you're a nefarious professor at a public or a private university and write a proposal to further study how climate change, key trigger word, and the invasion of the logging industry, key trigger word, is depleting the habitat of bears, all species, key trigger word, in the Pacific Northwest and Canadian Rockies. As crazy it may sound, some, if not all, of some grant money, which we as the public has never heard of, would probably in part or all granted in its entirety. And where would this study take place? Right in these people's living room. If believe this can't happen, think again. Most grant money, once it has been doled out, is never questioned. It becomes a tax write-off. That'd be great if we could the same. Until the day comes that the existence of the people is no longer covered up by governments, groups, and organizations, they're going to do their damnedest to control and suppress the truth. We all know as fact, and we'll be stuck with the names Bigfoot, which I can't stand, and Sasquatch, as long as it sells books, creates psycho circuses, Bigfoot conventions, brain cell killing TV shows, and making nefarious researchers and academic institutions a boatload of fraudulent cash. So, if those of us that know these people walk amongst us, we must stop perpetuating the falsehood that these people fall under a title given by those with nothing more than theories and all-out lies. These people have their own lives to live, their own place they call home, and one day, we can hope, they themselves will let us know their names. Yes, I know that's a big hope, but we never know what tomorrow brings. All the years I've been around the Sabe, I have learned, for the most part, they just want to be left alone. Up here, it's not that we don't know about them, though we are very careful who we speak to about them. On my own property, there are areas I purposely stay away from because I know they move through that area toward the national forest. Plus, most of the area is swamp, and in the late spring and summer months, the mosquitoes have landing gear and are equipped with radar. They are more than welcome to it all. Some have an odor that will make a billy goat puke, while others, well, I was in 5 feet of one, I didn't know she was there. Some of the tribes say they have magic, the ability to make us not see them. They'll be right in front of us, so they can speak to us without knowing they're there. I've heard some call it mind speak. How do they do it? No one knows, but the elders of tribes across North America will tell you it's a fact. I've had some experience with this phenomenon while deer hunting. I heard a voice tell me, "Not here." I got the hell out of there. It was as though someone was an inch from my ear. I've been back to an area, nothing has happened like it did that deer season in 1999. It's all about respect. Respect the fact that they are there. They don't want me there, and at that time I respected the wishes and left. I can say with confidence, they do get to know us if we reside in the same area as them. Wouldn't you want to know who your neighbors are that just happen to live on your land? Same with them. You're correct, Steve, in letting them know that you're in the area. They know you're there anyway, but I believe for them, you're showing a sign of respect. They know you're a hunter. They know a firearm. And for what I experienced, they can either see or smell a camera. Yes, some become curious or just want to be mischievous and play with one and snap an obscure photo, or worse, you'll never find it. If we grasp the fact these people are watching us every time we step into their home and show them the respect the native people have for hundreds of years, the native people called them by a name, and it was never Bigfoot or ape. Sorry this was rambling on, but I have a great deal of respect for these people. Thanks again, Steve, for all you're doing, conveying the accounts of so many that have more questions than answers. I'm the same. Even being around them all my life, I can say this. In the woods, it's all up to them whether we know they're there or not. It's up to them if we leave the woods or not. But it's up to us to not let them become nothing more than a scary bedtime story or a topic of ridicule. They have a name. It's up to us to listen to the elders and learn it. Have a great day, sir. All the best in your future plans and on your move. And as I relayed to you before, anytime you're in northern lower Michigan, give me a call. Sincerely, Brian Stidham. Brian, I absolutely enjoyed reading your words and sharing that with the people here, man. And if you would wish to share more in the future, please do. We need more non-bullshit, straight to the point, straight shooting, straight talking, intelligent people to share with all the people, and get louder than the people who are trying to control this narrative and shut down my voice and all yours. All right? There sure is, what do they say? Misery enjoys company. There's no shortage of miserable people trying to impose their misery on me and others. Non-stop. That's one thing for certain. It's non-stop. And sometimes I'll get, obviously I'll get a handful of emails and messages from people pointing things out and pointing people out who are attacking away. And it's just the sun's in the right place, the moon, and I'll start subtly sticking it back to those people through these emails. A lot of people think, I ran into somebody when we were traveling. Al from the island, you probably listen again. Thanks for coming up and saying hi. I've had people point out that a couple times I've gone off the handle a little bit, and they're even going to ask me what's up. And I had to let him know that there's a lot going on behind these scenes that all you see. Okay? There's a lot. And there's a lot of dark, dirty, coward pricks out there who are trying to make life uncomfortable for me. They're not succeeding, but they're there. And then the natural fighter in me is just wishing, praying that they're going to get a hold of me and bring it one-on-one. Just bring it to me. Quit being a coward. Nobody likes a coward, right? And let's straighten it out. So that's what happens when I start poking via these emails. All right? It's probably 99% of the time I'm directing it at one or two or three or more individuals, and I know they're getting it because it's stoking their little miserable fires more. Anyway, let's share another one before I start rambling too much. Steve, I have a story of a probable Bigfoot encounter that's been passed down through our family. It's from Colorado in 1957. My relative, who was there, does not want to be named, so I'm using pseudonyms, but you can use my name. My relative, I'll call Richard, was a hunter and fisherman from central Washington, raised on an apple orchard. He and his wife Nancy were newlyweds, and Richard was stationed at Lowley Air Force Base outside Denver, being trained to service B-57s. Whenever they could get away to camp, they would, and when a 3-day weekend presented itself, they decided to drive out further than usual, their usual spot on the Poudre River. They found a nice meadow in the middle of the forest near a river and spent the first night in their tent. In the morning, Richard went off to find a good place to fish while Nancy cooked breakfast over an open fire. About the time it was ready, Richard came tearing out of the woods saying, "I don't like it here. We need to get the hell out of here now." Nancy asked, "What about breakfast? It's almost ready. Throw that food in the fire and let's go." He then tossed their tent and bags into the trunk of his 51 Dodge, and they took off, and they drove to the usual spot on the Poudre for the rest of the trip. They never went back to that area. Richard never said what he saw, but Nancy said a bear wouldn't have spooked him. And if it was a person or a cougar, he would have said so. You can guess what we think he saw, but he was unwilling to even tell his wife. The final clue came in 1968 or 69. Richard never went to the movies. He was an outdoorsman, so if he had spare time, that's where he'd be. But one day he packed up the whole family, wife, and 3 kids to go to the theater. The Patterson film was being shown, and he took great interest. He never told a soul what he saw that morning, but he took whatever it was to the grave when he passed away from a heart attack in the 80s. Too bad he didn't have a place like that, like your channel, where he could have shared without judgment. You're doing the Lord's work, Steve. Keep it up, Dan Matheson. Dan, appreciate that share, my man, and the encouraging words. Yeah, it's too bad. You imagine how many people are passing away with that soul-eating secret and experience they had, eating them to death the whole time they're alive, not being able to share it, and at the same time being too nervous to go in the woods again or let their family out in the woods, right? Kind of sucks. It wasn't real until it was. Steve, I know you read a lot of encounters, and if you missed mine, that's okay. My name is Dennis Mays, and I'm also on the Path to Truth. I even started a podcast based on my own research of the patterns that come to light in the encounters. The beings that your listeners describe are definitely out there and became real to me about 20 years ago. I'd not ever had anything of this sort happen to me before, and never had anything except a few odd sounds in the woods that gave me an uneasy feeling. Here's what happened to me. I worked in recycling around 20 years ago, and we'd frequently be paired with another worker to train them, or just get the job done if they were already trained. A new guy joined the crew, and we hit it off pretty well, right off the bat. After working together for around 2 months, he came up to me and asked me a question. The question he asked me was, "Do you believe in demons?" My response is pretty straightforward. I've never seen one to believe in it. He went on to tell me that he had been camping out with his brother and the girlfriends at the time, deep in the back country of Boone County, Kentucky. The spot was a dried-out creek bed and a small beach-like clearing next to it. There was a single-car gravel road leading to it. It was several miles long, maybe a 30-minute drive. I've been on that road and it can get a little scary at several parts. After several hours of what was a good time, a few beers and some music playing on a small boom box. Whoever uses boom boxes now. Wow, we're old now, eh? LOL. They began to hear a shrieking scream come from the woods and thought it was a woman being murdered. They were also ready to dismiss it as some animal, but then they began seeing the eye shine in the tree line around them. They again thought it was an animal and threw rocks at it. It screamed at them again and moved almost too fast to keep up with. This went on for about an hour. This dude's eyes were dilated like silver dollars when he told me this, making me think that he actually went through something here. An hour goes by, the girls were terrified. My friend was as well. He decided to load everyone up in their old Ford Bronco and get the hell out of there. They all agree and jump in, leaving most of their belongings that they had taken with them at this site. My friend went on to describe that he floored it, and going 34 miles an hour on a road like this felt like 100 miles per hour. The eyes were behind them the entire way and was keeping up with the vehicle. They made it back to his parents' house about 30 minutes away and went inside and up to their attic where their bedrooms were situated. The thing actually followed them home. They could see the red eye shine pacing back and forth in the tree line watching them. The screams followed. I'd like to note that I didn't believe a word he said at the time and thought he was pulling my leg, to be honest. He had went on to tell me that he had no longer stayed out past dark because it was still following him a year and a half later. I laughed inwardly and dismissed it as bullshit. One night about a week, maybe 2 weeks later, I asked another friend who is an avid hunter and fisherman to come and take a listen to the story. This friend was a huge skeptic, and I'd figured that we'd got a laugh out of it. He had bought some beer and we were hanging out at my family's farm when I convinced my other friend to tell the story. He did. My second friend, sorry for no names, but I don't have the permission to tell names, didn't believe a word of it either. After he told the story, we sat there talking a bit and trying to catch him in a lie. I feel terrible for this because of what happened next. At once, my friend jumped up and grabbed his keys, saying to us, "I have to go, it's here." He ran down out front hill and to his car parked in the long driveway. He promptly took off like a bat out of hell. I looked at my remaining friend and laughed, saying, "That was a good touch. It really sealed the deal, huh?" We laughed our asses off. Then the scream happened from about 30 feet away behind a dog kennel where my family kept their outside dogs. I immediately realized that all their animals were dead silent. The hair on the back of my neck stood straight up and still does, even typing this out now. That scream, man, that goddamn hell scream. I never saw anything because me and my friend went into the house fast. I'd forgotten to mention that this friend had a broken leg and a cast due to an accident on a dirt bike. I grabbed him and lifted him up, slinging his arm around my neck and shoulder and hauled his ass inside. He said, "Grab the beer cooler." I said, "F no." We sat inside the house listening to something running away from the farmhouse through the woods. It sounded big, but again, we never saw it and didn't want to. To this day, I don't know what became of the friend who was being chased. I never saw or spoke to him again. His story and that scream stayed with me for years. I even started a small podcast based in Kentucky called the KYX Files to hopefully coax more people around here to step forward and confirm the sightings. Many have. We want to know the truth, Steve. We want to know why we haven't been told the truth about the world around us. I believe it's the land and the lumber industry behind it, but I can't be for sure. So sorry for the long email, but I wanted to get this out there. What you're doing is a good thing. I'm glad to know you're out there, man. Me and my brother Tyler found your channel, and we're glad to see someone else is out there trying to help. It's a huge relief. Never stop. Never drop your shield, Steve, but if you ever do, there are many of us ready to put ours in front of you. We're there with you, man. Thank you, Dennis Mays. Dennis, thanks for that, man. Appreciate it. That's a super share. A lot of people are going to appreciate hearing your words as well as me. I'll do my customary look around on the horizon here. I don't feel anything staring at me, but I'm definitely in a place where it can get creepy here at times. I was screamed at about, about a mile that way. Last spring, I think. I was very screamed at, but I heard that bellowing voice ripping out of the timber. And it was within the first half hour of light. I was up on a cliff looking across the draw to the next slope of never before log timber. But hey, while you're all sitting here, I want to I'm going to give a word directly out to any potential Bigfoot Sasquatch researchers that are watching this channel. I've had a handful of comments brought to my attention over the past while of people claiming to be upset or insulted by me because they know that I, quote, hate researchers. I will guarantee you will not be able to find me saying ever, I hate Sasquatch Bigfoot researchers. I don't hate anybody. There's definitely a few people out there who love to kick their ass when it comes to this topic for all the dirty, sleazy things they have done to innocent, hardworking people, for sure. But what I have said is the majority of researchers I've observed, not all, are playing a big role in keeping this topic a joke, keeping it going in circles, and ensuring that the honest truths don't come to light. That's what I've said, and I've said that constantly. And I've also added in every single time, not all of them. So, if you're upset with me and think that I'm insulting you, you lumped yourself into the group of the researchers that I have little or no time for at all. You've done it on your own, and you have not once been directly insulted. Okay? Let's get that straight away. Who else? The BF Joke organization. It's the head, whoever controls that website, whoever controls all the main data that comes into the website, whoever controls what people hear, has absolutely sleazed and attacked dozens of good people, taken advantage of dozens of good people, taken the experiences in and either withheld them from the public or changed their words or belittled the people who have got up the guts and the courage to share with them. They've done that dozens and dozens and dozens of times. All right? And I am going to scream that out loud nonstop to all of you, just as numerous other people have. I have had numerous researchers who are associated with this group contact me. They're great people. I don't hate them. I don't dislike any of them. And they have all made it quite clear that they have the access to all of that data and all of those experiences coming in. That's why they stick it out and stay associated with this bogus group. And I get it. And I'm not saying this to be insulting, but what I'm going to say is I see it almost as the researchers, the majority of the researchers to this particular group are very similar to previous Hollywood starlets or stars were to that Weinstein creep. It's the exact same thing. That fat, ugly prick was in control. And if you wanted to better your career, you basically had to let that fat, greasy bastard rape your ass, right? Take advantage of you any way he could. And that's the way I see it with the majority of researchers that are staying in tight with this freaking nasty group, right? The head. It's no different. And I understand. I get it. But I'm sure you are all here because you get to hear probably, I'm guessing, 500% more experiences coming through this channel to the public, word for word, than you ever will in that now defunct group. Prove me I'm wrong. But I just wanted to make a couple of those statements clear because there is no shortage of individuals attempting to discredit my character online, attack, do whatever they can to try to disrupt this ship, and it's basically impossible for them. It's not going to happen. All right. What else? A handful of people will nonstop be trying to notify me of certain names of people who are they're making videos and attacking me and shit. And if you haven't noticed, you never mention people's names. And if you don't ever mention their names in the comment section below, because what that does is it gives them exposure. That's what they're after. They would probably be doing backflips and celebrations if I ever mentioned their names publicly, right? And they do not harm me in the slightest bit. There's a couple of them recently are doing some nasty things, and I see them as probably potentially suicidal. I would guess they are having a hard time at life, and they're priding themselves in being publicly miserable and attacking people. It is what it is. But just so you know, it doesn't do anything to me ever. Okay, you guys, it doesn't do anything. And but if it's making you upset, if you play into it and openly complain about them with their names anywhere, you're promoting them. And that's exactly what a handful of them, how they screwed up with me. There's a handful of people that made videos with my content to try to discredit me, and they'd post them publicly under their following. And this is how emotionally challenged these dumbasses were. They promoted me non-stop on their dime, on their time, to their following and enabled this group of people to literally explode. And I guess we could probably thank them for that. It was almost as if they were trying to get on with How to Hunt Outdoors Limited full time. Right? You couldn't have donated, and you couldn't have done a more better job at marketing this group of people. You couldn't have. And for the people that possibly still do that today, well, thanks for the exposure and thanks for the effort you're putting forward. It's really actually doing us a lot of good. Keep up the good work, no matter what it is you do. So there you go. How's that for a little Sunday afternoon chat? So anyway, that should do for right now. There was a video that I uploaded and the audio went all screwy. Unfortunate. I'm going to have to hook up that big computer to the internet again and get the editing program updated. I'm just having some grief there. I've remade that video. I think I will, I'll post that fairly shortly again. I don't know what happened, but I'll repost that one, and I will let you know when the other email and other emails will be posted to the Rumble account so that every single person has their opportunity to speak freely and honestly to you. And don't forget, take from it what you will or not. You are now, through this channel and others, you are getting your power back to decide what you want to take in as factual or not. That's the way it's supposed to be. Okay? Actually, I had somebody, some poor deranged bastards who's been so conditioned, actually posted and said, I think it's absolutely irresponsible that you just go ahead and read everybody's emails like this. Oh my God, I couldn't believe I read that. It's like, really? That's how bad you've been conditioned to think that you need to have somebody in control of what you get to hear in life? Really? That's really sad. So again, every single person that shares through me is going to get heard word for word. And it's up to you to be the judge. It's up to your gut instincts to get back in tune. And it's up to you to take from it what you will or leave it. And that is the way it is. All right? Again, if you want to support this channel, PayPal links in the description below. And I'm going to keep rocking this shit out. Nobody's stopping me. Nobody.